Remo- Redeem your promo coupons to get more viewers. I don't know what that means. Okay. Hello, hello. Trying to make this adjusted. How are you guys doing this evening? Happy Sunday. So I'm in here tonight because tonight is a portal. It's a 5-5 portal, if you didn't know. Tonight is a 5-5 portal. And we have the new moon coming up. I just did yesterday the new moon manifesting class. Hello, look at all the people showing up. So if you missed the class, if you were not part of that, if you have questions about manifesting or energy and manifesting with this new moon. So on the 7th, we have a new moon. This new moon is in Taurus. May, we call this the money month. And then you have the new moon in Taurus. Taurus new moon is really about money, right? This is one of the best times to manifest money, is during this new moon. You can do it all the time, but this one, you don't have to work as hard. The moon in Taurus is meant for manifesting money. So we've got the new moon in Taurus, and then when you've got it in the money month, right, is excellent. And you want to get started tonight if you can, because tonight is the 5-5 portal. So I am just here to share information about that, answer questions. If you have questions on my other videos, I will definitely answer that. But I wanted to make sure that everybody that follows me, that supports me, knows that tonight you need to do a little something something for the 5-5 portal, and get prepared for this new moon. Like, this is not one of the moons to miss. My son said, for real. Oh, that was an ugly, frozen picture. Are you manifesting this month? Marquis, are you manifesting this month?
Yeah.
Really? What are you manifesting?
Money.
You manifesting money? How much money are you manifesting? Okay, I sent it to her. He's manifesting $361.68. How crazy specific is that? Like, he didn't even round up to just like, I need $400. Like, he has a very, very specific amount that he's manifesting. So we're talking about doing work tonight for the portal and for manifesting for the new moon that's coming up, as well as I'm answering energy questions, healing energy questions. If you have any, I'm only going to be on for about an hour tonight. Got some other
Is
stuff.
that Marquis in the swing?
Yes, it is. That's Marquis back there swinging.
Hi, baby.
Wave to Camille. He's always in here because in this place, the swing is in my room, so
Right.
can't get rid of him. And the grandbabies too, like Angel and Drea, because they get on the long handles and put their arms in and then tighten themselves up and lift their legs and just,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, so I really was just popping on tonight for to answer questions about the portal. You know, it's the 5-5 portal tonight.
I did not know that.
Yes. So
So
you
tell me a
wanna
little bit about the 5-5 portal. I know. I'm
so
sorry.
whenever there's a portal, it just means that, you know, it's open, it's clear, it is a good time to manifest. This is a manifesting portal. So this is a great night to kind of set the tone for what you're going to be doing on the 7th, because this is one of our
Oh.
bigger new moons, right? This is the new moon in Taurus. The new moon in Taurus is about manifesting money, and then May is the money month for manifesting. So you've got a portal that starts tonight. The new moon is Tuesday. So literally, if you start your work tonight and keep it going all the way through Thursday, because Thursday is the day that we
Right.
do money work anyway,
Right.
between 6 and 9. Um, there's not much. Oh, look. I said I was going to do like a whole series of me using the goddess codes to improve
Oh,
my
okay.
eyesight. Totally unrelated, but side note, because I just saw some stuff pop up and I couldn't read it. And I realized that when I started doing these lives, I was always saying, I can't see, I can't see. And I'm like, well, bitch, if you can't see, use the code that you're
Right.
telling everybody else to use. So I'm going to this week start a series where I'm using the codes to improve my eyesight, and I'm gonna show like what my current vision is, and then next month I'll go get my eyes checked, and we'll see how it went. But
Marquis, slow down.
you're scaring Camille. Like she's way over there. So we have all of these people on. Thank you so much for joining. You guys don't have any questions? Like that's what I'm here for tonight, was to answer questions. Tonight
You
is
never finished telling me about the portal. Or is that Marcus
listen.
saying, yeah?
The shit is lined up for you to manifest, specifically money.
Okay.
So tonight is the portal. It's 5/5. So this is what, the fifth day of the
month.
5th month of the
Yeah.
25th year. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the 5/5 portal. So
You know
it's
what else it is?
what? Here she go with that bullshit. What is it, Camille?
It's my Sneaky Link's birthday.
Don't nobody care. Uncreate, delete the story across all times, based on this reality.
Across all time, space, and reality, child.
Okay, so somebody asked, how do you get ready? So you don't have to get ready for the portal. If you do manifesting work, you want to do some manifesting tonight. Whether you do candle magic, whether you do, the 555 or the 369 method, tonight is a good night to start. Whatever the intention is that you're setting, whatever it is that you're trying to materialize, you want to carry that through from tonight into the new moon, and then into your Thursday work, because Thursday is going to be the last day that we're going to be in this new moon energy. Yo, really?
See, I told you.
So it's going to he made me lose my train of thought. It magnifies. You have a whole entire week in a month. What is something basic to do if it's your first time? So if this is the first time you've ever done anything with a portal, you can do something as simple as write very, very clearly what your intention is. A lot of times we want things, but we don't have clarity. It's very, very difficult for you to take something from the abstract and materialize it in the 3D world if you're not clear. So one of the most simplest things you need to do is get very clear on what you want and write it down. When you write it down, you take it out of a spiritual etheric type of thought, right? And you put it on paper. It creates this container to hold it. It helps it to materialize. It becomes something that is in the 3D, something that you can look at and you can see and you can feel. So get the clarity is always going to be first, because there will come a time when you don't really need the ritual of a thing or a candle of a thing, or, you know, herbs, the moon phase, the candles, all of those things are things that help you focus your energy. because we live in this three-dimensional universe, and we're so highly stimulated, the ability to focus is lost. Now, your ritual things and all of those other elements, we bring those in because they help us focus, because they also carry their own vibration. And so the more things that carry the vibration of what it is that you're trying to create that come together, that's like even people with the same thought pattern. What is that saying? Like when there's two or more come together, right? It's the same with the elements, right?
So,
Everything in
and
nature.
since we're all connected, when more of us are connected to a singular thought or energy, it strengthens that energy. So, like,
Right.
if we're all focused on the moon phase, or, a certain number of people are focused on the moon phase, it makes that moon phase energy stronger, and it allows us to focus stronger and longer.
Yes, kind of. It's more like if we are all, so the new moon is magnifying. First, let me make sure I answer this person's question. So the
Okay,
very
fine.
first, the very most simplest thing you can do is get some clarity. Alexa, turn down two. The very first thing you need to do is get clarity on what it is that you want to materialize into your life, right? During this time period. The second thing is to write it down. When you don't write it down, it stays in a non-physical form. And if you are not practicing manifesting, it is hard. So write it down. You can have it written down and put it away, right? If you have never done anything before and that's really where you want to start, you can also write it down, focus on it, and then you can do the 555 method, the 369 method with it. Or what I like to do is I'm a fire sign, so I like to burn stuff. So I write it down, and you write it down in the present tense as if it is, call it, and interrupting. And now, okay, I'm just going to turn the volume down here. When you write down your intentions, you write it down not like one day I want to have, at some point this is going to happen. You write it down as if it has already happened. It's called, the technique is called pray raining. Pray rain, right? And the saying comes from the Indian dance that everybody is so familiar with. They would do that dance, but the sounds that you heard them saying when they were doing the dance was really a prayer, and they were praying and saying thank you for the rain that had already come, even though it hadn't rained. So when you write it down and you focus and you get into the energy of it is here, you've already gotten it, then that's the energy that you want the universe to match. You already have it. If you write it in the past tense, of course it's not going to work. If you write it in the future tense, you're always almost there. If you're always talking about it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, yeah, you're going to always be this close to it. It's always going to be coming. You're always going to be close to it. The way that you get it in your hand is that it is yours. You claim it now. You claim it as if you already have it. So that's how you write your statements or your intentions and your manifestations, like you have it right now. And then I like to burn it. I set everything on fire. And or you can keep it somewhere, fold it up, meditate on it, and put it away. So that's the simplest thing that you could do for this portal. But it's always good to go into a portal with intentions. That's saying, like, if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for everything. It's the same thing with your life. Most of us spend more time planning vacations, planning weddings, planning funerals than we do planning the life that we're living in currently. So when you go through these different phases, they help us, especially when you're doing it with the moon, they're helping us. It's a time to help us get focused and plan our lives. We get to live the life that we want. We get to choose what it is, but we have to get clear about what it is. So now, what Camille was saying about the moon. So an example is in DC, I can't remember the year, right? There was a year where crime was at an all-time high, and they had no idea how to stop it. And summer was coming, and they were the officials were very, very worried about the increase in crime. The crime rate increasing in the summertime because kids were out of school, blah, blah, blah. So a group got together, and you can Google the idea to get the specifics because I don't remember right now, but a group of people got together and they decided they were going to meditate. And they were going to meditate on having peace in the city. And of course, nobody believed. They had hundreds, a few thousand, I believe. Aaliyah, a few thousand people joined in on this meditation. They all got together. They all started meditating at the same time. Everyone meditating really probably dropped into the theta wave, brain wave frequency, and everyone meditated on there being peace in the city of DC. They did this for whatever the designated period of time was each day. After this was over, they did an analysis. Will you get her? She just put all that macaroni on my white rug. Thank you. And they looked at the statistics. During the time that this group of people were meditating across the country, crime rate decreased. So there was no extra police force. There was no extra anything being done by law enforcement. It was simply the meditation, because there were so many people that were connected, that had their energy focused on the same thing. It created a state of peace, and it reduced the crime rate in Washington, D.C. during the meditative periods. So when we all come together and we're focused on the same thing, but we need to be focused on the same thing, then we can create something. That's why if you can work in a mastermind, it's better for you, because you can manifest faster, right? Because now you have multiple people who have come together. They're agreeing to the idea and the outcome that you want to have for you. And so when you have your idea and you can get 3 or 4 people, she is talking over me. You have 3 or 4 people that will focus their energy on you being successful in whatever your endeavor is. You're able to utilize that energy and manifest a lot faster. So that's kind of how that works. Thank you for taking her. I mean, if she'll lay down, that's fine. But she is in here yelling over top of me. So, I'm trying to see.
Hi, birthday twin.
Camille said hi.
Hi.
She could see you. I'm just checking to see if I missed any questions. So yesterday I did a live training on manifesting with the moon. And in that class, we talked about doing quantum jumping and what that entails. So with this new moon, it is an excellent time to do quantum leaping, because the moon is a magnet. And so it's going to magnify your desire. It's going to magnify your intention, and it is going to help that, help it manifest faster. One of the things I was surprised to learn when I did this class is that most people don't know the cycle of the moon and manifesting with the moon. So for example, Thank you for the gifts and all the likes. Yeah, you guys tapping the screen really apparently helps me out according to TikTok. So if you would do that, I'd appreciate it. So one of the things I was surprised to know is that a lot of people did not understand the process and the cycle of manifesting with the moon. So right now we're in the new moon of Taurus. So I tell people to set two intentions. One that can manifest within the 28-day period between this new moon and the next new moon, and something that is larger, that may need more components to materialize, that will manifest at the completion of this cycle. So what you start on the 7th of this month, it actually is going to complete, the cycle is going to be completed November 15th. That is when the full moon is in Taurus. So you have a 6-month period. Sometimes people are trying to manifest with the moon, and then they don't get what they want in those 28 days, right? And you think it didn't work, when in fact, there may have been other things. You may not have been in complete alignment, and it does not have to end. That cycle is 6 months. So if you're manifesting in new moon in Taurus, your cycle ends in November 15th when it's in the full moon of Taurus. So if you're starting in the new moon in Aries, then you need to figure out when is the full moon in Aries. That's the 6-month cycle. And I was explaining that because this is the book that accompanies the class. You can buy the book individually or separately, but it has the new moon planner and the new moon diary. The diary is because, so the planner, one, I'll start there, is all the things that you do. It takes all the information, right? So it's like, what is your intention? Did you do a ritual? The date, the time, what the moon cycle was, the time of day, how did you feel? Thank you. What were the physical conditions? What was the weather? All of those things are important because if you're going to duplicate success, you want to know what was going on. How much is the book? Good question. I think the book is like $20 on Amazon, but it's in my the link in my bio. You can either get it as a downloadable, which it's less expensive if you go to the link in the bio and do Goddess University and look for the book Love Notes to the Moon. If you want it in print, then go to the link that says my books or something like that. It'll take you to the Amazon page where you can order the hard copy. So the planning is gathering everything up. And then when are you going to do this ritual, right? So what happens is we're doing this ritual right now. It's the new moon. We are in Taurus, but the diary portion of that is that we may get to the full moon, and which is just 2 weeks away, and realize that we haven't manifested this yet. So that's the time that we want to look at what is this intention and what has come up for me in these 2 weeks, so that we can remove that, because the full moon is when we release things and we get rid of blockages and things like that. So your work in the next full moon is to release the things that are stopping you or that have come up for you that has caused this to not manifest for you quickly, right? Then if we get to the next, like what's after that, the waxing crescent moon or what have you, it takes you all the way through. For each of your rituals, you go through and write down, okay, has this manifested yet? It hasn't. This is the work I need to be doing in this moon cycle. It's a way for you to track it. It's a way for you to see, listen, this happened fast. And you're able to see all of the circumstances that were going on when you created this ritual or when you did this manifestation, so that you can duplicate it. You may find that because of your connection with the moon and your particular rhythm, things seem to manifest for you in the waxing moon. but then you know what you're expecting, right? You know what to expect. So anyway, I didn't realize that a lot of people did not know that you have a 6 month cycle for your manifestations when you're working with the moon. So if it doesn't happen in those first 28 days, don't be alarmed. You've got a whole, 6 months, and you just keep working it. You don't let it die. This is not um, TV magic, right? There is a such thing as instant manifestation, but in order to have instant manifestation, you have to do the work. You have to do the work. Got it. Did not know. And thank you. You're welcome. You have to do the work to remove the things that stop you. The only reason that we don't have instant manifestation is because we don't believe it. There are blocks. There are things holding us back. There are things stopping us from being in alignment with it. Because if you can get into alignment with it, as a matter of fact, Camilla is on the line. So, Camilla, you remember when I would be sitting there going, I'm going to send this out, and then somebody's going to read it, and then I'm going to hear my Cash App go off, and it's going to be a payment, and then I'm going to have the money that I need to do X, Y, and Z. I don't
Oh,
know.
absolutely.
And
I
then while we were talking in the conversation, you
Yeah.
hear the Cash App go off, right?
Yeah. I was
So,
thinking about the time with your grandmother and the 52 oh gosh, what was it? I just completely drew a blank. It was 52 times in one day you held the intention, or I mean you held the energy and the vibration of it, and it came like within 24 hours.
oh, so that was actually, that's so funny that you say that because I was going to use it as a story time. The
Oh,
very first time that I remember um, intentionally manifesting, I learned this from my grandmother, right? And of course, so my grandmother did a lot of the same things that I did, right? But of course, she Reiki and energy healing. She just called it laying hands, and my gift of knowing things and intuition and how heightened it is. They just called it a knowingness. That was my gift, was knowing things like that, right? So I had moved into a new house, and I lived in, when I was in my 20s, I lived in model homes or homes for rent. I lived in them, I decorated them with an interior designer, and then I lived in it because it was uh, more advantageous for an owner to have somebody in their house while they were trying to sell the house than for it to be empty, especially if they lived out of state. So when my kids were little, I was able to stay in beautiful, beautiful houses, that had on the golf course and had all of these amenities at like dirt cheap prices where maybe the rent would have been 2 grand, 30 years ago, I was paying $500. And the reason for that is because I was living in homes that were for sale. So I did have to keep the house very clean, have a housekeeper, stuff like that. So I got into the program, got approved, got the house, and then went to the rental place to rent furniture to furnish the whole house, because when you do move, houses are different, right? So the very first house I got into, of course, I had no furniture. I had lied. And I just figured it would come. So it was part of my knowingness. But now I'm in here. The interior decorator showed up. I didn't have any furniture for her to decorate with. And they said I had like 3 days that I needed to have this house full of furniture, or I was gonna have to leave, and I wasn't trying to do that. So I was on the phone with my grandmother, and she basically walked me through. She was like, she was praying, and she basically made that statement, God, and you can use God, universe, source, whatever. You said where two or more come together, I don't remember her exact words, but that's what makes it
will be in the
happen.
midst.
Right. So we come together. What we need is, she was saying like, she needs, and I think at the time it might have been I don't know, I'll say $800 because I can't remember. I needed $800, and she needs $800, and we need $800, and we need it today. We need it today so she can get this furniture so her and her children can have this house. So we stayed on the phone, and she kept saying it, and we kept thinking. We were doing the pray rain technique. Okay. And Diana was maybe one. So this was 30 years ago, and long before The Secret and all that. And so she just kept saying, we were thanking God, thanking angels, thanking everybody for this money and what I needed to get the furniture. So as this was happening, I'm getting phone calls, and we're coming up with ideas, right? So we were getting the inspired action to take. And so we'd get off the phone, and she would make a phone call, I'd make a phone call, and maybe that person didn't answer. How it worked out for me was we just kept saying thank you. Now it took us, maybe we were on the phone for about an hour, and back then that was a big deal because you paid by the minute. Some of y'all don't know nothing about that. But what happened was a friend that I used to work with called me and was like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, I am trying to figure out how I'm going to get this furniture. They said, but my credit wasn't good enough. So I didn't have any money, and my credit wasn't good. And he said, well, my credit's pretty good. I could co-sign for you. All right, bet. So he's like, he lived in Maryland. I lived in Virginia. He was going to drive down, pick me up, and take me over to the place, right? Now I had a co-signer, and I had a ride there because I didn't even have a car, but I still didn't have the money. But I had a couple of hours before he was going to show up. So my grandmother and I got back on the phone, and we just kept saying, thank you, and imagining having it and saying thank you to the person who gave it to me and where it came from. And she just kept me in that energy. Lo and behold, my uncle calls and was like, what are you doing? I said, I'm on the phone with Grand. At the time, she wasn't a Grand. I was on the phone with grandmother, and I need this money to get the furniture so I can keep my house. And he says, well, how much is it? And I tell him, and he's like, well, I'll Western Union it to you. He Western Union it to me probably 30 minutes before my ride showed up to go get it. We got to, it was called Quartz Furniture Rentals. We got to Quartz 15 minutes before they closed. Walked in, he signed the papers, got approved. They told me how much I was, approved for. Walked through the entire warehouse, picked out furniture for every room in the house, the living room, the basement, the stuff for the deck and all of that. And they said, great, it'll be delivered tomorrow. All the stuff got delivered, and I got to play around with it for a day or so. And then the next day after that, I think the interior decorator came, and I had a house for $500 a month, and all of the furniture that I rented probably cost me like under $300. So again, I had a beautiful, fully furnished house for me and my kids for less than $1,000 a month. And that was my very first lesson on manifesting. Of course, it's not what we called it. She didn't, it wasn't, it didn't have a name, but that was my first lesson. So, if you stay in the vibration of having it, it shows up. You can definitely manifest and have instant manifestations. Now, does it feel like instant manifestation? No, it felt like forever that day because everything was on the line. But you really can. I think you got it. I'm just reading messages. You really can have instant manifestations, but it is about holding the vibration. And sometimes that's hard. It's hard to hold the vibration if your vibe is very, very low, right? If you're starting from a low place, you're starting from a lower frequency, and then you're trying to hold the vibration of $1,000, it's almost impossible. Right? Because you can't skip from this low energy to this up here. It doesn't happen like that. You have to go through the emotions so that you can manifest. So you have, and that's why I'm saying you have to do the work. You have to remove um, the negative self-talk. I did a video about that today because a lot of people were asking about locking your energy, right? And I mean, what now? There's probably 700,000 views on this video and thousands of, how can I know if I have a low vibration? So, what, there's a chart. You can Google the emotional scale. If you Google the emotional scale, it's going to show you a chart and it'll have all the emotions leading all the way up to gratitude and love. Love, gratitude is at the top. Um, Hatred and jealousy and all that kind of stuff is at the bottom. So you'll see the chart and you need to be able to identify what is your primary feeling, because you can just be neutral, you can be content. Angry is a higher vibration than sad. And then right there, enlightenment is on there. That's that love and gratitude energy. So look up the emotional scale and then see where you are. The way that I started working with that was that was an everyday thing for me. I'd wake up and think about, put to words, how do you feel? Even if you feel hopeful, right? I often wasn't in joy, right? I wasn't in anticipation, like I was trying to survive, but I also wasn't sad, but exhausted, right? And I was. There's overwhelm, right? And I spent a lot of time in overwhelm and exhaustion.
Girl.
Um, Also, when I started to pay attention to what my emotions were, I started to be able to note when my emotions change, because when you become aware of something, you're aware of it. So I became so aware of how I was feeling. Even if I wasn't overwhelmed, I noticed when my emotions changed out of that, whether it went up or it went down. And I realized at that point that some people that I interacted with made me feel worse. I would be angry. I'd be fucking agitated. And so what that taught me was who I needed to stay away from. What that taught me was that if my energy is not right, then I don't need to engage with certain people, because it's only going to bring me down, especially if you're engaging with people who are at a lower frequency. But it does allow you to become aware, and it gives you the opportunity to work on improving your emotional state. Everything is, you don't really get what you think about. When you manifest, it is not what you're thinking. You can say positive affirmations all day long and still not manifest anything. You get how you feel about what you're thinking. You get and you manifest how you feel about what you're thinking. So that's why you need to be in a feeling place of having it. If you can feel what it's like to have it, to be there, to do that thing, and you can hold it, that feeling, then you will get the match for that feeling. So people don't manifest shitty shit happening to them, but they feel shitty. So they get circumstances that
Keep
match
you in that
how they feel.
vibration.
Yeah, you feel shitty. Here's more shitty shit, and you continue to feel shitty. When you shift and you feel good and you're happy, that's why the better it gets, the better it gets, and the worse it gets, the worse it gets. Unless you stop it, and you have to consciously make the shift.
So, can I tell the story about how we manifested, what was it, $3,000 in a weekend?
Oh, I thought you were going to say about that day that we manifested a man over the weekend, but
Oh, yeah, no, that one too.
no, don't tell that
That's a
one. But yeah,
story. That's a story for two drunk witches.
there you go.
That's the podcast story.
So yeah, definitely tell.
All right, so I don't know if you guys know this or not, but my best friend is a priestess. And so the priestess and I, when we get together, we like to have a drink or three, but also we like to have fun and just play. And a lot of times, getting into that vibration of playfulness can bring your vibration up. It can bring you happiness. It can get you pretty close to joy because you're kind of giddy and you're feeling, funny and, having a great time. And so one weekend we decided that we wanted $3,000. And so we broke out a bubble machine. Hi, baby bestie. Hi. We broke out the bubble machine, and I had made some, was it hibiscus syrup?
Yep.
And so LaMeel likes vodka. So if anybody would like to, gift her some vodka, I'm sure she would appreciate that.
It would be
But
amazing.
I am a rum drinker. So I had rum, she had vodka, and we were mixing it with hibiscus syrup, like homemade hibiscus syrup. Exactly. Yes, lovey. And so we just kind of were hanging out and we were making potions because I do a lot of kitchen witchery. And so I have a lot of recipes and we were making, what do we make like Five Thieves vinegar.
Yeah, we were doing the honeys that night too.
Yeah, we were doing honeys and honey dust. So we were just creating and being playful and having a great time. And then we got to thinking about, oh, wouldn't it be great if? And then we got to that level. And then we were like, oh, that's almost there. So it's kind of like when she's saying that when you're wanting something, you're almost there. We were almost there when we were saying, what if? Then we switched it to, isn't it wonderful that we have? And then we were talking about clients, we were talking about business, we were talking about successfulness and all of those things. And because the two of us both love Cashapp and the Cashapp symbol, it just started going off. And I think we were both talking about Cashapp at the time. And it just started going off and people were wanting information and they were wanting more things. And I think you went live on Facebook that night and did card pulls.
I did.
And so, of course, I am my bestie's protector. And I do that on my own because I'm so protectful of her energy because sometimes she is not. Well, she's gotten better at it. And of course, since we've been doing protecting ourselves and, shutting down our negative energy coming in and all of those things, it's been a lot better. But she was doing card pulls that night and people were wanting 2 and 3 and 4 cards. And I think that night we had like 500 people on the live. And then people started sending in donations and it was just really, and we talk about things being magical, but it was really was a magical night. I don't know how late we stayed up, but I know that the next morning we had hit the 3,000 mark and money was still coming in.
Yeah. So it can happen in a short period of time. It is helpful when you have a container for things to flow through, but you don't have to have a container to manifest and receive. Like I said, it's helpful if you have some sort of container, especially if you want to receive continuously, but you don't have to have that. It can be very instant. It is about holding the frequency and the vibration of having what you want. Now, when she said we brought out the bubble machine, it brought me back to something everybody should try. So Camille's reading a magazine, and we were, I think, in the kitchen at that point, and so it said like in 30 seconds, name 5 things that make you really, really happy.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, shit. Okay. Sweet liquor, the color pink, balloons, bubbles, and I don't even know, I can't remember still for the life of me what the 5th thing was. And um, I was
I
like, that's
think that the
weird.
fifth thing is also something that we need to discuss on Two Drunk Witches, because this is a PG show.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yes.
Okay. So, um, but they were weird to me, right? But I only had that 30 seconds, and that's what I came up with. And so Camille goes, bitch, we can go buy all that stuff at the Dollar Tree right now, just about. So we left and we went and bought balloons. We bought bubbles and a bubble machine, and we bought some sweet liquor, right? And that's what we were using when we started in the kitchen and then got on live on Facebook, and money just started flowing in because I didn't give it any thought. Those things really still till this day make me happy. If you look at my old YouTube videos, I'm in a pink room with balloons tied to my chair, and there's usually bubbles going off in the videos because that helps me get into my zone,
And
right?
music, music, music,
And
music.
music. So find the things that bring you joy. They are going to lift your vibration from wherever you are to the next level. Once you get into the habit of being at that next level and holding that energy, hey there, beautiful soul. Oh, you're so sweet. Um, uh, you can hold that frequency. You know what it feels like. Hi, hi, hi. And then you can go to the next level. And once you've gotten to a new level in the feeling of it, when you're not there, you're going to notice it faster and you're going to do things to change it. And if it's people that are, kind of throwing you off, now you can go look at, I made an energy healing playlist that you can go take a look at. Lock your energy around those people. When my energy is kind of funky, or I just know somebody's calling who has got a lot of negative with them and likes to talk about the negative, I do the infinity symbol over the phone when I know I have to take the call. So that way they're not going to be pulling from me and I'm already locked, right? And if they manage to get through, if they manage to penetrate with whatever foolishness and fuckery they got going on, when when I get off the phone, I do the exercise to release the negative energy that I have absorbed. So, and I just posted that again today because a lot of people were asking me, what to do. Do you need to remove things? Yes, you need to remove things. Uh, you're it's like taking an energetic bath, right? We have to bathe. Sometimes if you've been in a shitty place, you've got to bathe more than once a day. You may bathe in the morning and bathe at night, depending on how your day went. And it's the same with your energy. You may have to clean it off. And it's not always, I think I started this earlier, where people are talking about all the energy vampires, fuck those people. The biggest energy vampire that we have in our lives most often is us. Second guessing ourselves, not trusting ourselves, not believing in ourselves, talking ourselves out of doing the things that we have the passion to do. And then it lowers your frequency. But you did that, not somebody else. And so, yeah, you got to shake that shit off, lock your energy, and start again. There's some fucking days I wake up and I'm not in the right mood or something pisses me off and I go fucking left. I go get back in the bed and just start the fuck over. And I know everybody doesn't have the luxury to just say, fuck this, I'm going to bed and I'm going to start again, later in the afternoon. But you can release that energy, lock your energy, and then start again. right? Because, we don't live in a society where people should, taking naps and doing the things that it be like that sometimes. Yes, it does. You even if you're at work, you have to, and I got kids and grandkids, and there's times when it's just like, fuck them kids. I gotta go outside and stand in the grass. I need to ground myself and hug a tree and all that other kind of stuff. I meditate to stay focused. I'm not always focused. I don't always have clarity. Um, Sometimes I feel off. Sometimes I am sad. I'm sad a lot, but I acknowledge what I'm sad about, right? And so it is not my perpetual state. Sometimes I think I'm sad because I'm clearing energy. I'm clearing old trauma. And so the way that my body releases that is through crying. And then I'm exhausted and I rest and I've released it. I've let it go, but I'm not really sad. I'm doing the work. Doing the work does not always feel like peaches and cream and roses and all that. It just doesn't. But if you're holding on to years and years of trauma, if you're holding on to old paradigms, if you do things because of that's how your family does it, or that's how you were raised, and it doesn't actually serve you in the today and now, you're holding yourself back. You're lowering your own energy. You're paying
A
homage
lot
to
of
shit that's dead.
And a lot of times when you're doing the work and you're doing that release, you're mourning because you are changing from that old paradigm. You are shifting away from it. And it's something that you become so familiar with. It's something that is a part of you, and you're losing that. Sometimes loss is not a bad thing. Sometimes it's okay to lose those things so that you can level up and be where you'd like to be.
Very, very true. Someone said they learned that the hard way. Yeah. I mean, and it doesn't mean you're sad, and it doesn't stop your manifestations. You may have a day where you feel off because you are releasing. Holding on got me stuck for years in a world of trouble. Yeah, you have to let things go. And letting things go does not equate to pretending it didn't happen. That's not what I mean. That's not doing the work. Our muscles have memory. So if you used to work out and be really, really strong, and then you stop for a while, and it's easy for you to get back in shape because you've been there before, right? Our muscles tighten and restrict when we experience trauma. And so in the tissue, right, we have a chemical reaction that happens in our body when we are traumatized. And then while we have that chemical loose in our system, the muscles tighten. So when your muscles relax, when your body starts to relax, when you start coming out of fear, flight, and freeze, you're going to feel the chemical release out of that muscle because now it's relaxing, and all the chemicals that caused it to tighten have been released in your system. So you feel sad. You feel confused. You need to learn techniques to help flush it out, let it go, and don't hold on. A lot of people, especially men, want to feel like, no, I can't do this. I can't feel like this. This is not what's supposed to. You got to let it go. Otherwise, your body is holding on to it. Your body remembers everything that happened to it. And that's the reason I'm doing the series where we're releasing emotions, excuse me, because those emotions stop you from manifesting. That emotion of overwhelm, that emotion of fear, that emotion of anger. So those are on the emotion side, but sometimes you have physical body pain. So when I started doing the energetic work for the pain that I was having in my body, it all related to anger. Like, it had other things, but the common thread through every ache and pain I've been having ever had to do with anger. Well, I didn't really think I was an angry person. but I was angry about a lot of things that I did not feel like I could express. So I held on to it, and then it manifests in physical pain. Let me see how to make this a little bit bigger. It says, I learned about this as something called, it stays in your body if you don't. Oh, yes. I really needed to hear this. Well, I'm glad that this is helping you. I'm glad that I got on here and connected with someone who could benefit um, from what I'm saying tonight. But yeah, you've got to let it go. You have to process it. Otherwise, oh, you know what? I meant to look that up. I'm going to do that really quick before I get off here. So, one of the things that I have been listening to is a thing on YouTube, right? And it is an overnight kind of meditative sound that is for body healing. So I turned it on one time and my daughter and I were like, yo, do you feel that? She was like, yeah, my body feels weird as hell. Like I can feel like this is it's happening. It's called whole body healing water sound, verified rehabilitation music therapy. It is by Positive Energy Meditation Music. Positive Energy Meditation Music. If you go to their YouTube, right? They've got this. I have been listening to this. Last night I was having the wildest dreams. Literally, the dream was I went back and I was re-experiencing some things that happened. And I was jumping from scene to scene, but they were all things in my past that were very, very traumatizing for me. Like hella traumatizing for me, that changed the trajectory of my life. But in the dream, this stuff is playing, and I know it's playing on a conscious level, but I literally went back into those times and re-experienced them as a healed person. So my response to it was different, which made the outcome different. And I remember walking away thinking, I'm healed. And then I shifted into another. It happened 3 times, and then I heard my son knocking on the front door, and I got up. Okay, what is the YouTube channel again? It's their Positive Energy Meditation Music is the YouTube channel's name. Positive Energy Meditation Music. The one I've been listening to is Whole Body Healing Water Sound, Verified Rehabilitation Music Therapy. And then it says 98.9% effectiveness.
Say it one more time. Positive Energy
Meditation Music. Are you typing it for me?
I am.
Thank you.
Of course.
And then you're going to watch Whole Body Healing Water Sounds. It's amazing. Like I don't know anything about them. I found it. I noticed that I was feeling sensations while I was fully awake, but I had started listening to it while I was asleep. And literally I had the most healing dream. Like it was like it kind of rewrote my history for me. It no longer traumatized. Amazing. I don't know a whole lot about them. I'm gonna have to do some more research. But I actually had that dream last night and woke up this morning. Mathis was knocking on the door. And I don't even know how I heard Mathis knocking on the door because I didn't hear the chime and all of that stuff going off. But yeah, so that's something to look into because you got to do the work. Like I can sit here all day and go, oh, you can have instant manifestations. But if you're full of blocks and you're not going to do the work, it doesn't happen. Right? Now, when I say heal yourself and remove the blocks, do you have to be a good person to manifest money? No.
Absolutely not.
Do you have to have good character to manifest money? Like, no. You know, you can be a shit person and manifest. You can be a shit person to everybody around you. But what you think about having money is what is manifesting for you. So you can be a complete fucking asshole your entire life and be rich and make lots of money. because how you feel about you having money is what is manifesting that money and those opportunities and those situations for you. You don't have to be a person who meditates and, who is concerned with their connection with God and source. You don't have to be a person who gives a shit about the environment. You don't have to do any of those things. How you feel about you and money, you having money, your ability to see you having money right now in this moment. Think about how fucking delusional Trump is. He became the fucking president. And so much so, like, this dude is the president and may even be the best option coming up.
All right now.
Right, that's like a whole other thing. But I'm just saying, you don't have to be a great person. You know what I mean? You don't have to appease everybody. And you can still have a lot of money. You can still be very successful. You can still do, like, he's fucking living proof. You ain't even gotta look good. I mean, mostly rich white people who are like generationally wealthy are weird looking as fuck.
It's all the inbreeding.
I was about to say that.
But I ain't one to gossip, so you ain't heard that from me.
So anyway, listen. Anyway, this is the week to manifest. Last week, one of the goddess messages was stop coming to the ocean with your fucking little thimble asking for it to be filled. You need to ask for it all. Ask for it all. This is your week to manifest. Not what you need this month. Not if I had 5K every month, I could survive. Right?
How about more people have 5K per month than they even realize that they have it? You don't even know how much money, most people don't even know how much money they actually have coming in. Don't lowball yourself. $5,000 really, it sounds like it's a lot of money, but it really isn't. And until you get in the mindset and until you get to that space where $5,000 is a drop in your bucket, it is the thimble. The $5,000 is the thimble. You gotta go big or go home. You really gotta ask for the most outrageous, most outlandish thing you can think of that you really do believe you can have. You gotta believe you can have it, but ask for all the shit.
Yeah, you really, that was the message last week. You've got to ask for all of it. And one of the things when I first started manifesting, I would be like, oh, I don't know. I think back then it was like $3,000, right? Yeah. And I was like, I don't know why I don't have it. I don't know why I don't have it. And then one day I wrote down every dime I got and what I did with it, and realized that I had been having it. Here I am trying to manifest $3,000, and I was already receiving $3,000 a month, which is why I kept thinking I wasn't getting it, because I wasn't seeing an increase in what I was getting, right? So it's $5,000 a month is not a lot of money. And if that's all you need, then you need to ask for twice that. You need to be setting intentions for double or triple that. This is the week for that. They said, do I fast when I'm manifesting? Absolutely not. Like, listen, the denial of food is not my thing. The only thing that ever stops me from eating is this fucking missing tooth.
And that just slows you down.
Right. I cannot not be eating. Like, here we are with the TikTok wanting me to put the thing in the thing. Okay.
Put the thing in the thing. So, because it's got the little dots rolling around on your forehead for me. That's what I see.
Oh, okay. So I just did it. But yeah, so I'm at the hour, and I know I said I was only going to be here for about an hour, hour and a half. So I'm going to be closing.
We got more fun to have. You
alkaline
gotta stay
water.
another
Ooh,
hour.
alkaline water. And what is it? What was it? Somebody, alkaline water. You know, look, I am a water fanatic, and now I can't find who that was. But um, anyway, yeah. So she back there touching stuff. Um, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh no,
You were
yeah,
talking
I don't
about
fast. I don't
yeah,
fast.
you
Now,
don't fast.
granted, I do oftentimes delay eating in the morning. Like when I get up, I have like a lemon, ginger, sometimes a little bit of turmeric tea on an empty stomach. It may take me a while to eat. So I don't eat as much as the average person. I don't eat early in the morning and all that kind of stuff. Excuse me. And I do a lot of smoothies and fruits and salads and whatever because I used to be a raw foodist.
I was
And
just gonna say, let's keep it real. She is a high vibrational food eater. She
I
eats
am.
foods that are high in vibration. And so she doesn't require a lot of food, but she's never going to deny herself of
Never.
something delicious.
Never. And I like I said, I trained to be a raw food chef. I raised my kids as raw foodists. But then when they something smells weird. But then when they shifted and had to go to public school because I was homeschooling at the time, I shifted them out of being 100% raw because I didn't want them to get sick. I didn't want them to be denied at school parties and things like that. And the more that I learned about energy, it's not really about what you eat, right? It is what you think about what you eat, and it is the energy that you put behind it, as well as I trained as a natural health practitioner because I wanted to be an ND, but I didn't. A whole nother story for another day. But um, the thing that will keep you alive and the thing that will keep you the healthiest isn't what you eat and don't eat. It is your body's ability to eliminate the toxins from what you do eat. So, so yeah, denial of food is not a thing that I do, and I know that it helps a lot of people. And if that is your thing, do what works for you. I am a firm believer in that. Uh, does connecting to your higher self help you manifest more effectively? Absolutely. Being connected to your higher self helps you do everything more effectively. Better sex, food tastes better. You end up in better places. You get free shit. People only show up who like you. People give
Free
you
shit.
favor.
Free shit.
Yeah, like I love the way you're explaining everything. Thank you. So yeah, being connected to your higher self, that's the goal. You want to be connected all the time. You want to move through your life connected to your higher self so that you're moving intuitively based on your connection to your higher self, so that when you receive the message to get into the right lane, you get into the right lane and then you avoid the traffic. When you receive the message to get up and go for a walk over there, and then a guy shows up and says, "Hey, I've been looking for somebody to give some money to," you are right there to receive it. Or
Seen it happen. I have seen it happen. Oh my
so
god.
you've got to be the connection with your higher self allows you to live intuitively. Oh my goodness. And I don't know, during 2020 COVID, okay, if you go to my YouTube channel now, here's the thing, when people were talking about the video, oh, anybody who was on here who saw the video where I was testing my daughter and we're doing the energy testing, and I said I did a video on YouTube, and a lot of you went back and watched that YouTube video. This is Camille that's actually in that video. I just wanted to let
Oh
y'all know.
yeah,
Yeah,
because all those
that's
people
her.
were saying that it was fake and stuff.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a big girl. It'd be pretty hard for her to push me around.
So that was but Camille is the one that was in the videos on YouTube. And to find those, what I did was I put them at the bottom of my link tree. So if you go to my profile, I put the shortened version and the full length with Camille and my cousin, who's a Krav Maga master, who I was able to bring down once I unlocked his energy and drained him. So you can go watch those. But also on my YouTube channel, there is like, I don't know, it's 15 days, right? So you watch one video a day, but there are exercises that help you connect to your higher self, and improve your intuition. So, complete explanation, you follow, and she said, yeah, I tried it, it works. Yes, definitely. So, complete explanation. So, if you want to improve your connection with source, your connection with higher self, you want to live and move intuitively, eat intuitively, which is how I raise my children, and my older children anyway, eating intuitively. So, like, if one of them only wanted to eat apples, that's all they ate. I didn't care. One of my daughters at one point, she ate sauerkraut, like raw sauerkraut, for days, and I just kept buying it. And it wasn't cheap, but I was buying it. And then all of a sudden she was done. Her body needed it, right? So also exposing the kids to as many different types of foods as possible so that when their body needed to heal, their body knew what to crave. So there was that. And I think that's all the questions. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to end
Can I
it.
tell you a story about your buddy Zeb?
Yeah, I love that.
So Zeb and I were watching videos, of course, on TikTok as we do. And someone was on there talking about manifesting, and I'm like, "Oh, watch this with me." And she said, "Absolutely not." She said, "You know what? You're wasting your time. You know why? Because you know all that stuff already." I was
I
like,
love
"All
her.
right." I know. I was like, "All right, you got me." She's like, "Yeah, so stop watching it and just start doing it."
Absolutely. That's my girl. That's my girl. Wait till I see her. And it better be a
She
picture of her
really
in
makes me
school.
sick. Right. She said she's looking for a picture of you at school.
Yeah, because I didn't see one today. She says, I think it's great how you parent your kids. Listen, I appreciate that. I really do. It drives most people crazy, but it is
Oh
what it
yeah, we
is.
are the original bad moms. You don't know?
They-
We are the
yeah,
original bad moms. We kind of let our kids be individual human beings instead of extensions of ourselves.
we don't live
We
through them. We let them make decisions on their own, suffer those consequences.
all of the
Stop
above.
overthinking and just do it. Absolutely. And honestly, when you get into tapping into your higher self and being more connected, there isn't a lot of thought. This is a feeling. We are in a feeling universe. Remember, I said you get how you feel about what you're thinking. So if you feel your way, you can feel your way into the manifestation. Is this feeling good? Keep doing it. If you start to feel like, ugh, this doesn't feel so great, don't do that. If you're going this way and you're feeling like, I'm not sure, stop right then and there. Like, there's no, I did a challenge where, like, what is that? I don't know what she's wiggling around. Can grandma see that? Oh, okay, never mind. I know what that is now. If you get to the point where I said, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. If you spend a week
Oh yeah,
only living in the
five
hell
five
yes,
days
it's going to
challenge. Yeah.
change your life. It's going to change your life.
Yeah.
We convince ourselves that it can't be that simple. Yeah, we do. And society helps us convince ourselves it can't be that simple because, there's all these accolades for people who take the road less traveled. Why the fuck?
Yeah, because I'm about living that life of ease. I'm not trying to chop down no trees. I'm not trying to blaze no new paths. I mean, if it's a way to get there, why do I have to create a new way? Let's just go.
Exactly. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. And society has this whole gimmick of, the people who suffered the most and worked the hardest, yeah, they get a lot of praise after they're fucking dead,
That's a
right?
bunch of bullshit.
I didn't sign up for that shit. I'm not doing that. So I want ease and flow. I want money to come easily. Shit, I told people I gained weight. I used to be like a size 5, like even after 8 kids. And I gained some weight. I'm a whole whopping size 8, whatever. But um, people would ask me, like, are you, what are you going to do? you're going to lose some weight. And I was like, listen, I would like my stomach to be flatter, but it didn't hurt to get fat. It shouldn't hurt to get skinny. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing the hard shit. That's not what I was built for. That's not what I'm here for. That's not my fucking ministry. I'm not doing it the hard way. I came here to enjoy manifesting and the ability to take things out of the ether and watch it materialize. Like, that is the joy. And the life that I want to live and the level of ease that I want to have, the energy of money is required. So I'm learning to get aligned with the frequency of money so that it can show up, because really it is just the means. It's just a means. It's just a, they in there making noise. You better not be breaking nothing. They about to all sleep on the deck. I'm just telling y'all right now. So I want a life of ease, right? So you look for what is the easy path for the money to come through. You know, I don't believe that money comes from people. My source of money is God, is source, is the universe, right? That's my source of the money, and it's sent to me through the people. That way, there's not a whole lot of emphasis put on how many people I need and where are the people. I trust that it's coming from source, and the people that have it is going to be sent to me. It says, do you have any recommendations when it comes to trusting your higher self and intuition? So in general, we're out of practice, right? A lot of us miss the original thought, our first thought. Usually your first thought is what you want to go with, but a lot of times we don't even hear it because we have such, monkey minds. We've got all this stuff going on in our head, and we miss the first thought. So you do have to practice. And honestly, if you go watch that series on my YouTube channel, it will help you. It has different activities that you can do every day. But right off the back is starting to listen to the first thought. Even if you write down what your first thought was or take note of it, and then see how it plays out. And also watch the video that says how to know the truth in everything. Because your body, if you've ever used a pendulum, right? I used to use a pendulum over everything. But your body is a pendulum. Your body will naturally respond to all circumstances. Have you ever been somewhere and like a man walks over to you, and you probably have watched this happen, right? So a man is leaning into a woman and she's leaning back. Your indication, her body and her whole, he's leaning in, and a lot of men don't take that hint. But your body is telling you, walk away. You don't even want this person in your energy field. When you see things and you are in environments, if your body naturally leans in, then there's a natural intuitive safeness. It is your body will tell you it leans in and out, but you just have to practice. And when you first get started, it's like having to calibrate, because you don't.
But didn't we do that exercise? Did we do a video where we did?
That's what I was saying. Go watch that video. Watch that video, because we picked up stuff, we held stuff in our energy field and let our body say whether it was good or not, even if you didn't know what it was. Because at one point in that video, I just wrote down a bunch of things on pieces of paper and folded them up. And then I made Otis hold them and I tested him. So go watch that video and do the series that helps you with your intuition. Any recommendations for self-love and confidence? So the confidence comes from knowing. The self-love is usually not present because we have bought something that someone else sold us that probably wasn't even our own. What I mean by that is that when we're very young, most of us who are not doing the inner work are operating on a system that we developed at the age of approximately 10, somewhere 8 to 10. So you've got all these adults out here running around, operating from the mindset and making life decisions at 50 based on things that we decided when we were 10. Okay, so around that age range, something was said to you, something was told to you that you believed. So it is still about discovering what that is so that you can change it. Now, the practice of self-love is in the meditating. It is in only doing hell yeses, right? That is a form of self-love. If somebody asks you to do something, because see, I used to think I had really great self-love, and then when I started practicing more, I realized only in certain circumstances. Other circumstances, I wasn't showing up for myself. So you've got to figure out where your imbalance is in that realm of self-love. But getting tapping in, getting in touch with your intuition will help you. Number one. Number two, meditating is going to help you. Number three, filling yourself in with good emotions like confidence, like self-worth. There's meditations that you can do for those. If you follow me, hit the bell, right? And tomorrow I will do an emotional clearing of the self-worth. And actually, I think I already have that, but if I don't, I'll do that, but I'll do filling in. So if you need help with self-love, we're going to fill yourself in through a meditation and you'll be able to watch it. So I'll post that tomorrow for you. But really, it is about figuring out what you didn't do. You know, what you bought, what you believe, and so that you know what it is that you need to change. So like right now, I've got a lot of self-love, but I still need to practice in self-care in the way of taking care of my body. Like I still sometimes don't fully moisturize. And I know that sounds like such a small thing, but I need it. Like I'm 51, I gotta moisturize, right? But I don't take the time. And it's like, why? I have the time. Shit, if I want to, I can go back to bed. I have the time. I have to make myself that important. It is repetition, and it is retraining your thought process. I'm worth it. I'm worth it. That stuff can wait. It's about resetting your priorities. And for women, it is about decentering men.
And decentering your children sometimes as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Which is the reason why we say, fuck them kids.
Yeah.
It's not because we don't love our kids. It's not because we don't think that they're great, wonderful humans. For the most part, they really are. But sometimes you just got to say, fuck them kids. I got shit that I need to do for me. And when you're a better mom for you, when you're a better person, when you've taken the time to do the things that you need to do for yourself, you are a better mother just by default. Just by taking the time to do the small things for yourself, you become more accessible to them. And I know it sounds contradictory, but you really do become more accessible. And also, they become more respectful of your time. When you decide how important you are, that's how the world views you. So immediately, your children, because they're in your immediate space, they're going to be the first ones that you notice that have recognized that you are putting yourself first. And you may get a little bit of pushback at first, but then they're going to start saying, you know what, when mommy takes that 30 minutes after she gets home from work and locks herself in her bedroom for 30 minutes, when she comes out, she's a much nicer person to be around. than if I attack mommy when she comes in the door and ask her 17,000 questions. Because at that point is when you need to say, fuck them kids, I'm going to my room.
Yeah, and also, because my kids are getting older now, um, I had one of the things I had to do was stop letting their urgencies become my emergencies, right?
Mm.
Because they just had urgencies. And then I wanted so desperately for them to be happy and not experience anything negative. They became my emergencies. And I'm responding to these things and I'm putting way more energy into it than even they are. And shit, this is your shit. Right? I'm more worried about it than you are. Like, so you have to start gauging. Journaling also helps with that. If you start journaling how you feel, what happened, who was involved, and what was the outcome, it gives you something to reflect on, right? So if you're journaling throughout your day, the other thing for self-confidence and self-love is to either get a therapist or get a coach, because when you're doing it on your own and you're not really sure what you're doing, you're going to have a lot of snapback. It's being able to detach from anything for your own well-being. Yes. So I made a post that said, I can love you unconditionally, but what is conditional is my presence, right? And your access to me. Because I can love you, but I'll separate myself for my own protection and my own well-being, because I need to be okay. As much as I love you, you're fucking draining me and you're driving me crazy. And you got to love you more than you love your kids. You got to love you more than any spouse, lover, friend. You got to love you more than anybody else in the family. You have to pour into the people you love from your overflow.
Yeah, never let your cup get empty.
Right, you cannot take care of people that you love from your full cup. So instead of focused on what do they need, what does he need, what does she need, what do I need? Because if I've got everything I need, what happens is I start to overflow, and what I'm giving to them is coming from joy because I'm not depleted. When I'm giving to them and it's depleting me, at some point, neither one of us is getting what we need and nothing is getting done. And then I'm empty and they don't know how to fill me up because I never even taught them that. So you got to give to the people that you love from your overflow, and then they get what they need, but you're not depleted as a result of it.
Kim say you have a question. So what's a good meditation to stay in the feeling of what you're trying to accomplish?
So if you, I
Can
would
you
put,
talk about also, before you answer that, can you talk about different ways of, I don't know if I want to say different ways of meditating, but that meditating is not always what mass media has you
right,
believe meditation is. Like, you don't have to sit still in a quiet place and,
right.
and all of that.
You don't have to
So
become like a Buddhist monk to meditate, right? So for some people, there's all types of meditations. You can meditate drinking your coffee. If you can quiet your mind and go for a walk, and instead of be thinking the thoughts, you're observing and your environment. It helps if you go for a walk and look out into the distance, look way further than where you are, right? It helps to put your mind in a meditative state. The idea of meditation is quieting the mind to receive. When you're praying, you are asking. That is an energy of asking. When you are setting intentions, you are asking. When you are initially manifesting, you ask. You ask for what you want. But asking and receiving are two different frequencies. And the way that you get into that receiving frequency is through the quieting of your mind. It is through the meditation. Because when you quiet your mind, you can hear those inspired actions and those thoughts from God, from source, from universe, right? You have to quiet your mind in order to hear the answer, in order to be guided to where you need to go to get the answer, or to be receptive to whoever is being sent to you with the answer. So if you have difficulties quieting your mind, find theta brainwave sounds on YouTube and just lay back and start listening to them. Sometimes I listen, to the air conditioner or the heater run, because when you're focused on that sound, you have less thoughts. If I can't stop the thoughts, I used to do stuff like I would ask questions like, what color is my next thought? And my mind would go blank. What does my next thought smell like? There's no thought. And those weird questions, it's a series of them. And maybe I'll do a video on that tomorrow. But there's a series of like questions that you can ask that will cause your mind to go blank. You're trying to train your mind to stop with the thoughts, to slow them down so that you can focus. The theta brainwave allows you to go into, it takes the brain into a place where you can be very creative and receptive, and you're way more in a receptive mode for manifesting.
So there's another question. Does drinking alcohol really affect your manifestation power?
So
Can I take a little bit of a point on that one?
well, listen, I want to say this, okay? If you are an excessive drinker, then adding drinking to your manifesting is not for you. You know what I mean? Because you are an excessive drinker because you have not dealt with, I'm eating macaroons that are just dropping everywhere, because you have not dealt with some of the things that are blocking you, period. When you have a addictive personality or the addictive personality trait, there has been trauma. The drinking is the medication. So no, if you have a drinking issue, if you drink excessively, don't drink when you're manifesting. Now, if you don't have those issues, if you don't struggle with alcohol and you have to be truthful with yourself, then yes, for some people, it can help them release, get a little giddy. And I think when I started this live, I was talking about how, no, maybe I did a video today and I was saying I had been drinking and typed up an email, but in the drinking, I was in a really stressful state, but I don't drink a lot. So when I drank, I relaxed for a minute. I was able to get that inspired action, and then I typed the email, but I typed it with a knowingness. So was it the alcohol? Not necessarily but the alcohol at that time helped me relax enough to get into the feeling of knowing. I knew what I was sending out was bringing the people and the money. And I was like, when I wake up, I'm going to have at least 8 people already bought it. Other people are going to want it. And sure as shit, I woke up to money. And I woke up to people asking for appointments because they wanted to talk about it. So I drank. And I remember being like really buzzed, like, I hope this shit is spelled right, because I have dyslexia already. So like being drunk with dyslexia trying to type an email, it was before AI. Listen, don't judge me, judge your daddy. So I, but I got it out and I made the money, right?
So real quick, I just want to add, so the alcohol is sometimes called spirits. And there is a reason why it is called spirits. If your spirits align with the spirit of alcohol on whatever level you are. So we talked about that, the spiral, right? What's it called? The cone, the spiral, where you're on the scale. You were talking about it earlier. Every time I see it, I see a cone
The
with the
emotional
colors,
scale.
the emotional scale, right? I call it the cone because it looks like a cone to me. So wherever you are on that cone, that emotional scale,
I didn't know what it was.
that's,
Look, I'm
you
drinking
didn't
out
know
of
what that was.
I'm drinking out of 3 glasses. So I'm just
That's why
saying.
you're supposed to like watch a cup. So at any rate, wherever you are on that scale, that's where your spirit is. And if you add a spirit to that, as the spirit being alcohol, it's going to meet you right there where you are.
That's a really good analogy. So if you're angry, drinking alcohol is not going to make you happy. It's going to magnify where you are, right? People who say, "Oh, they're a mean drunk," they got an alcohol problem.
They're a mean drunk because they're a mean person.
Yeah,
And they have
they
some
have shit to work
issues
on.
that they need to, yeah, they have some issues they need to sort out before they get to hitting that bottle.
Hmm.
Because
Okay,
I can
so
drink most men under the table, but I'm a happy drunk.
this is wine, child. She drink wine and go right to sleep. She lying.
Right.
Okay,
Right to sleep.
how can I help a sibling who might have a drinking addiction? Okay, so the first thing I would do, I would go get them tested to see if they have the genetic mutation, and I think it's called like MFTR. Back at you. Um, See if they
Don't
have
be
the
giving my
mutation.
nephew the finger.
I was his daddy. She's like,
Oh.
oh, okay. No, I gave you the finger. She saw it. Um, so I would get them tested. You can buy the test on Amazon. It's like $70. Why do I say
Or
that?
you can buy the DNA test from Camille.
Do you test for that?
Absolutely.
Okay. You want to see if they have the genetic mutation. The reason is that when you have this genetic mutation and you have an alcohol or drug addiction, it's the mutation that makes it very difficult to get off or to break the addiction. But if you identify that you have the mutation, there are a series of supplements and things that you do to treat the mutation, which then allows for the addiction to be broken with less of a draw, less of the recurring, the relapse, I think it's called, and things like that. The other part of that is that there are I would work on their energetic body. So you can get a tincture of flower essences that are made specifically for addiction that you can have them take. You can put into their drinks, things like that. That works slower. So you need to, when you're dealing with an addiction, you want to do it on multiple levels, right? So you want to get them tested, but then you want to get an addiction flower essence blend that you can put into all of their liquids. You can't taste it. It starts to work on their energetic body. I would use healing codes, right? So I'd have them write that on them. I'd write that on the waters that they use and put that all around them to help them resonate with the frequency of the code. And they need to go to therapy. I mean, those are the things, right? Because when you have an addiction, part of it is now your body on a chemical level is craving whatever that is, alcohol or drugs. So you've got to deal with that. There's an emotional issue. So even if you have the mutation that makes it hard to break the addiction, there is still a reason that you have an addiction. And if they're willing to do the work, there's a lot of energetic work that they can do. But also they need to have somebody who is a professional in their arsenal.
There, there's also IVs that you can get. It's called a NAD plus IV, and
Oh
it
yeah.
is given over a course of 3 days. Then there is a 5 day, and then there is a 10 day. So that's, we're talking if you're really ready to spend a lot of money. So, because these are things that are done in your home, someone would actually have to come out, hang the IV, sit with you for a couple of hours, and titrate this medication in slowly. And it is again along the same lines as what she's talking about there. Natural, it's minerals and vitamins that you need. Also, some people have used ketamine therapy intravenously, and that has also been shown to work for people that have addiction. What you over there giggling about?
It
Right,
says, did you
exactly.
say energy codes? So yeah, I have a book called Goddess Codes, and in the book, there are codes for that help you manifest, right? So there's codes to manifest money, houses, clothes, better jobs, better health, lose weight, gain weight, better eyesight, which is what I was talking about, things like that. And it's called Goddess Code, and it is in the link to it is in my bio. The book is going to be printed. Right now, it's a downloadable PDF, and the print copy will be available later in the month. If you get the PDF copy, when the book goes to print, you will get the updates, right? So we'll have your information and we'll send you the updated version. Right now, there's over 400 codes in the book, and when it goes to print, we'll have over 1,000 codes in the book. The codes that I'm adding are more specific to health, to healthcare needs. Um, you're welcome. I feel blessed to catch this live. Thank you for sharing, ladies. I
Say, can you repeat the mutation?
Y'all gonna have me on here lying. Okay, I just said I have dyslexia, so I believe it is M MF. I don't know, but you know what? Tomorrow I will post it. I will do a post and I will show you. I'll have the name of the mutation, but I will also show you in Amazon the kit that tests for the mutation, and I will link it in my Amazon store. So tomorrow by noon Eastern Standard Time, if you come to my page, it will be there. I promise. Because I think it's like MHF T or MTH, something like that. And I know about it because I did the research. My granddaughter was born withdrawing. One of my granddaughters was born withdrawing from fentanyl, and she's got some drug issues that run deep on one side, but there's also some addiction on our side of the family. So I was very determined to explore all options to make sure that just because she came from a situation that she came from, that her becoming addicted very easily was not going to be her fate. So that's how I came across it. Is there a code for physical healing? There are. If you go to my page and look at the playlist, Goddess Code, and it might be Goddess Code Movement, I share a lot of codes, so all the codes are there. Um, if you go to Goddess University and get a free Visiting Goddess membership, I have Goddess codes in there that I've shared on other lives.
So, we started this live talking about the 555 portal and manifestation. And so let's recap. Man,
What's wrong with you? Blink twice if you need some help. Okay.
right, exactly.
Sigils, codes
So
are
the
the
question is, do you think sigils and codes are the same in some ways?
yes, absolutely. A sigil and so here's the thing. What makes them differ is that the codes were channeled, right? And I know that everything is numbers, right? Everything that makes up our universe has to do with numbers. So the codes are numbers. Those numbers carry frequency. Everything here on this planet, in this universe, carries a frequency. So the combination of numbers have a frequency. You use these codes so that you can harmonize with that frequency. When you have a sigil, the thing is, seeing the symbol of a thing bypasses our conscious mind, goes and works on the subconscious level, which allows you to resonate with the frequency of what it is that that symbol stands for. So in those ways, it does actually work the same. So I've made sigils out of the codes for my own use. For my own use. I hate your dog. So
Yes, I'm aware. Should I say what I hate?
No.
Okay.
Kind of like when you look at the time and it's 222. Yes. But when you look at the time and it's 222, yes, that number is a frequency. But usually the numbers that you see when you see multiple numbers repeating like that and it's coming up for you is usually a sign that means something, right? And it's usually a sign, higher self, angels, depending on what your belief system is. There's something that is trying to be communicated to you when you're seeing patterns of the same numbers over and over again.
Oh, can I tell you what I saw today?
Okay, you can tell me, but then I'm gonna go.
You gotta go. All right. So I was standing having a conversation with a complete stranger, and a butterfly flew up and landed right on his shirt and just kind of hung out there. Huh?
I said, wow.
Yeah. Interesting, right? Kind of hung out there. And the crazy thing is, this person didn't even freak out or anything. You just kind of looked down and was like, oh. And then the butterfly went along its merry way.
Like it was normal for him?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Did you get his number?
Absolutely. Listen, I got his number like 3 weeks ago, but he is definitely not my type.
Okay, that's a whole
Listen,
nother story.
he doesn't have enough teeth in his head to be my type. So
You can buy teeth, girl, if he got all the other stuff. Don't worry about his teeth.
nope, because I still got to look at him. So no, at
Buy
some
teeth.
point. I'm
Anyway.
not buying shit. He better buy some teeth. I'm
Okay.
not buying a fucking thing. Wait, we're going left. Okay. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you guys for being here. Leave me comments, questions, or whatever. I promise I will answer as much as I possibly can if I didn't cover something and you have any other questions. But tomorrow, I will make the post for checking for the genetic mutation so that you guys have that. Everything else you should be able to find either on my page or in my link tree. Thanks so much for watching.
You guys, I was here for the comic relief tonight. So thank you all for being here and for putting up with my foolishness, because I don't get to see my bestie in person a lot. And I miss her and I miss her family and all my niecey poos and my nephews. So we're going to have to get together and Do a live together.
We love you. Thank you. I'll see you guys
All
later.
right. Have a good night, guys.